Yeah, so like I said, my freshman year of college, I kind of screwed up like we were talking about before. And then my sophomore year started again new, but I screwed up my college sophomore year too, but I did in a different way. And it was actually a good way. So, I mean, I failed all my classes and stuff, but I was fine with that because I started getting involved in the political world. And I had, again, waking up to all these things, I just saw how terribly that anyone with a difference of opinion was treated if you had a conservative opinion. And at the point when I was a senior in high school, that's the last year of high school before you go into college. At that last time, I mean, I didn't even know the difference between a Republican and a Democrat. And then by the time I'm a sophomore in college, I'm just like full steam ahead because I saw how terribly that if you had a difference of opinion at all, they ostracize you, they wouldn't let you speak, they said your opinion is not valid. And so I saw that and I started just doing tons and tons of research about conservative thought, reading books, watching videos, articles, all sorts of stuff. This was when Trump was going to get elected for the first time. So this was 2015, 2016, or 2016. And I just decided to get very involved in the political world in Colorado, which is where I'm from. I started working for an organization called Turning Point USA, if you've heard of them before. And then I started watching PragerU videos because I just wanted to learn more. And I made a video on my campus where I was asking women what they thought about the wage gap. You're familiar with like the gap between men and women. Of course, they all thought that they were super oppressed and not getting paid enough. And so then I sent it to PragerU. I taught myself how to edit the video and all that. I sent it to PragerU. They loved it. And then they said, you want a job? I said, yeah. And I dropped out of school, moved out to Los Angeles with no money, not knowing anyone, just drove across the country and started working for PragerU.
Wow.
And that's kind of how it started. Yeah.
That's a fascinating story. So when you started PragerU, was it hard at first, or were you sort of like hitting the ground running and just excelling?
It's definitely hard. I mean, trying to create a brand for yourself is hard for anyone, even if you're really, really good like me,
The humility, man. Love
yeah,
it.
exactly. Just kidding. But you know what I mean? It's like, it's very hard to like start from nothing, especially in the political world, especially being a guy who's at that point, I was 20 years old and I look a lot like a lot of these other people who are in politics, a straight white male. I looked like a ton of them and I had no, why would someone look at me and say, why are you an expert in something? You're an idiot. You're 20 years old and you don't know anything, And so it's very difficult for me to start out and start doing things. But the number one advice that I tell everyone when they're doing this is that, are you familiar with Ben Shapiro? You know who
I
that
am,
is?
yes. I love Ben Shapiro.
So Ben Shapiro is very, very smart, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
he can talk about any topic, political topic there is, right? He'll talk about abortion and climate change and social, anything. And this is what someone who's my age, they say, I want to be the next Ben Shapiro. They say, I want to be able to talk about any political topic and go off and do this. And I said, I can't do that. There's a million people who want to do what I do and want to do that. I need to find a niche that fits me the best and then move forward on that and build and carve that out, And that's why I think I've been so successful and why PragerU has been really successful. We found things that are very specific to us and we haven't strayed away from our brands. We haven't tried to be everything or do everything. We tried to stick with what we know so that people say, okay, this is Will Witt. He's an expert in this subject, or he's the guy who's really good at talking to people because he's practiced for years now and is the best at getting people to expose themselves for what they believe, things like that. It's like I set myself up in a certain light, a certain way so that I could be successful. So I wasn't just trying to be like everyone else.